All right, hello there, YouTube. Welcome to the first ever book review here on this channel. Since it's the first book review, I just wanted to go through kind of like things that I will do and won't do for book reviews. So, for example, one thing that I will not do in a book review is spoil a book. The whole point is to try and get you to get excited to want to read it. So I'll try and give you the overview of the book to get you excited about it, but not spoil anything big. The second thing I'll do is, because it's such a personal opinion, personal preference, is I will give you a level of spice. I was thinking of a level of five different tiers of spice level. So the first level being that there is no spice. There's no, they just, they don't even hold hands. There's just no romance at all in the book. Level 2 would mean that there is a little bit of spice, but it's very, very conservative. Holding hands, maybe a kiss here or there, and that's about it. Level 3 spice would mean that there's a little bit more intensity, more stuff making out, but nothing necessarily overtly sexual. Level 4 then would mean that there is perhaps a sex scene in there somewhere, but relatively conservative as far as the way that scene is being described, because that is kind of the big difference between this kind of stuff and movies, in books and in movies, is the way that they're being described. So I'd say that would be a 4-level spice for me. And then the 5 would be that the author is being extremely descriptive and graphic. There's probably multiple scenes like that if I give the book a level 5 spice level. So then that way you have some kind of idea of how that book is. So that's kind of how I'm going to do things. So let's just get into this book review. Today, the book I'm going to review is the very first book I read in 2026, which is Punk 57. I chose Punk 57 mostly because of Penelope Douglas. She is, in my opinion, the master of dark romance. So when I got this book, I actually expected dark romance as well, but it is not. So, what is this book about? This is a romance book. This is a spice level 5, maybe 4.5 to 5, but I would say it's kind of high on the spice level. The whole premise of this book is that there are two protagonists, Misha and Ryan, and you can read this on the back, who are pen pals, and they've been pen pals since I think 5th grade is where they started pen paling. And they had rules where they were not allowed to look each other up on social media. They lived only 30 miles away, but they were determined to keep their relationship completely in the pen pal and not anything else. And so they did for 7 years. And then they were at the whole graduating high school, graduating their senior year, and that's when things started to change. And so that's the phrase right here. We were perfect together until we met. So anyway, it was a very interesting book. It would be the second romance book I read. I didn't realize it until I started reviewing the books that I read for 2025, but this was the second romance book that I ever read. And so I realized that this is, I read a lot of fantasy and I read a lot of sci-fi, and I try to diversify the kind of books that I read. And so when I realized that I didn't do that much romance, I wanted to sort of lift that up. So when I realized that Punk 57 was a romance, I was very excited about it. And I really liked this. I mean, I really, really liked this book. I would say that this book almost, like, I'm giving it 5 stars. I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads because I was surprised. It wasn't one of those cliched romances, which tends to leave you, as someone I was just talking to, it leaves you eye rolling a whole bunch. So I like that. I like that I don't have to eye roll when I'm reading this book. That it feels very gritty and real. And I think too, since Penelope Douglas does tend to be a dark romance author, that really helped with the genuineness of this romance. Yes, I would say this was a fantastic book. You probably will see it on Book Talk or BookTube or whatever it is you look for when you're looking for reviews. You'll probably see this coming up as a popular book. As someone who's pretty new to the romance genre, though, I would say this is a great read. It is only, I'm saying only because I tend to read high fantasy books with over 1,000 pages. So this one is only 383 pages. So I'd say it's a pretty small book, not that big. And yeah, I really liked it. I've seen this book on the shelves all over. I mean, in the Middle East and in Bulgaria and in the US. And I never picked this one up because I was always into her dark romance stuff, like The Devils, something. I can't remember the name. But yeah, I changed my mind now. I realize I've seen it, being a popular pick in things that people recommend, and I didn't realize why until now. So for my review of Punk 57, I am giving it 5 stars, 5 out of 5 stars. I should also tell you about my star system, which is 5 stars means I love the book so much that I will recommend it, and I will even read it with someone again if that's something that they want. So that's five stars for sure. 4 stars would mean that I like it a lot. I'd recommend it to people, but probably would never read it again just because there are so many books that I want to read. 3 stars is going to be a book that I didn't really like, but I understood the value that people I understood why people read it, and I might even recommend it to people that I think is in that sort of mindset. 2 stars would be I don't like it at all. I feel like the book is not really that great, but I'm sure that there's someone out there, but I wouldn't recommend it to people. And then 1 star would be I'm burning the book, like actually tearing the book up and burning it, because I feel like those words do not deserve to be put together. So just so you know, that's kind of how my 5 stars go. So Punk 57, I'm giving it 5 stars. Spice level, I'm giving it 5 spices, 5 chili peppers, whatever. I don't know what I'm doing for that. 5 spices. It's very spicy. It isn't spicy the whole way through. It's only spicy, once you get about halfway into it. So I don't know how that affects your reading. Oh, and the other part of this review, there's 2 parts of a book. If you're a fresh book reader, then you should know that there are 2 parts to book reading. There is the part of the book where it goes from being another book that you just start reading to a book that you're interested in. And then there's a second part of the book where you get to where it goes from being an interesting book to I cannot put this book down. Okay, so those are 2 areas that I always hit with every book. The part where you're just like reading and they're just like, yeah, to, okay, this is interesting. And that's the first section of the book. And then the second part, which is going from, oh, this is interesting, to, yeah, I'm not going to be sleeping tonight because I got to figure out what's happening in this book. For Punk 57, that happened, like the interest happened pretty early in the book. I would say within the first chapter or two, I was kind of interested. I liked the premise. It was very interesting to me to be connected by pen pals, and you're seeing his perspective in one chapter, her perspective in a chapter, kind of that style of writing. So I really liked that. And then it went from interesting to, wow, I can't put this down, about halfway through, where stuff started changing, and yeah, I don't want to spoil anything, but anyway, so that's kind of how that book played out. So if you're interested, and you're okay with a lot of spice, then I would recommend this romance, Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. Have a great day.